When God at first made man, having a glass of blessings standing by, let us, said he, pour on him all we can. Let the world's riches which dispersed lie contract into a span. So strength first made a way, then beauty flowed, then wisdom, honor, pleasure. When almost all was out, God made his stay, perceiving that alone of all his treasures rest in the bottom lay. For if I should, said he, bestow this jewel also on my creature, he would adore my gift instead of me, and rest in nature, not the God of nature, so both should losers be. Yet let him keep the rest, but keep them with repining restlessness. Let him be rich and weary, that at last, if goodness lead him not, yet weariness may toss him to my breast.
Now that we have heard the poem, let us go through it line by line to understand what the poet wants to convey. When God at first made man, having a glass of blessings standing by, let us, said he, pour on him all we can. Let the world's riches which disperse lie contract into a span. The poet George Herbert begins the poem with these lines by saying that when God started creating man, he had a glass of blessings near him to be poured onto man. God felt that all the riches which lay scattered should be contracted, meaning collected together into a span, meaning a small space. So strength first made a way, then beauty flowed, then wisdom, honor, pleasure. When almost all was out, God made a stay, perceiving that alone of all his treasures rest in the bottom lay. These lines concentrate on the blessings that God had kept ready to pour on man. First flowed out strength, which was followed by wisdom, honor, and pleasure. When nearly all the blessings were out, God paused and decided to keep the one remaining treasure, rest. For if I should, said he, bestow this jewel also on my creature, he would adore my gifts instead of me, and rest in nature, not the God of nature, so both should losers be. Through these lines, the poet George Herbert shows how God hesitated to give away all the gifts, especially the gift of rest. He felt that if humans were given everything, including rest, the highest jewel of all, they would have a mistaken sense of their own self-sufficiency. They would adore, meaning love nature, and not the God who created that nature. Yet, let him keep the rest, but keep them with repining restlessness. Let him be rich and weary, that at last, if goodness lead him not, yet weariness may toss him to my breast. The poet George Herbert concludes the poem by saying that if God withholds the gift of rest, man's life will be one of repining restlessness, meaning continuous anxiety due to dissatisfaction, and weariness, meaning tiredness. It is through these lines that the title of the poem, The Pulley, becomes clear that the pull to earth is balanced by the pull to heaven. Herbert uses the conceit, extended metaphor of the pulley to show an implicit comparison between the gift of rest that is not bestowed on man by God and by which man will be pulled towards God.